Listen, most men think they need to impress her with compliments, agree with everything she says, or keep the conversation going at all costs. But that's exactly what makes her lose interest. Because while you're trying to be nice, you're also being forgettable, safe, predictable. And women don't obsess over predictable. They obsess over the man who talks to them differently than every other guy in their inbox. The one who makes them feel something they didn't expect to feel. The one who doesn't follow the script. I'm going to show you exactly how to talk to a woman in a way that gets inside her head. Not through tricks, not through manipulation, but through understanding what actually creates fascination in the female mind. And by the end of this, you'll know why your current conversations aren't working, and the exact communication style that makes her think about you long after the conversation ends. So, let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Why your conversations aren't creating attraction. Conversations aren't creating attraction. Picture this scenario. You match with her. You message her something nice. She responds with short answers. You ask questions. She gives one-word replies. You try harder. She gets more distant. Sound familiar? Here's what's happening. You're speaking the language of interest, but she's listening for the language of intrigue. Most men communicate like they're filling out a job application. Where are you from? What do you do? What are your hobbies? Interview questions that get interview answers. Boring, transactional, forgettable. And here's the problem. Every other man is doing the exact same thing. She's had this conversation 100 times. Your words blur into every other conversation she's ever had. There's no spark, no tension, no reason for her brain to tag you as different. Women don't get obsessed with men who are easy to figure out. They get obsessed with men who challenge them, who don't fit into the box she's created, who make her work a little to understand them. So if you want her obsessed, you need to stop talking like every other guy and start talking like the one she can't quite figure out. Let me show you exactly how. The communication style that creates obsession. Obsession. Before we dive deeper, hit that like button if this is making sense so far. What's coming next is the exact blueprint. Let's keep going. Here's the first principle, and it changes. Talk to her like she's already into you. Everything. Talk to her like she's already into you. Most men communicate from a place of seeking approval. Every word is carefully chosen to avoid rejection. Every joke is safe. Every opinion is neutral. She can smell that energy from a mile away. Instead, assume attraction. Not arrogance, not cockiness, just the quiet confidence that you're worth talking to. This shifts your entire vibe. You're not trying to earn her interest. You're deciding if she's interesting enough for you. Use playful challenge instead of agreement. Agreement. When she says something, don't just nod along. Push back a little. Tease her. Question her logic with a smile in your voice. She says she loves a certain movie. Don't say me too. Say something like, really? You seem smarter than that. It's light. It's fun. And it creates a spark because now she has to defend herself. Now she's engaged. Now there's tension. And tension is the oxygen that attraction breathes. Master. The art of emotional loops. The art of emotional loops? This is critical. Don't wrap up every thought in a neat bow. Leave threads hanging. Create curiosity gaps. Instead of telling her your whole story, give her a piece, then move on. She'll want to know more. Her brain will keep circling back. Say something intriguing, then change the subject before she expects you to. This creates an open loop in her mind that she'll want to close. Never over-explain yourself. Mysterious men are never over. Explain yourself. Magnetic. Not because they're playing games, but because they don't feel the need to justify every decision. You changed your plans. You don't need to give her a detailed explanation. A simple something came up is enough. You have an opinion she disagrees with. You don't need to defend it for 20 minutes. State it, own it, move on. The moment you start over-explaining, you're subcommunicating that you need her approval. And nothing kills obsession faster than neediness. Communicate with intent, not frequency. Intent, not frequency. Quality over quantity. Don't text her good morning every day. Don't fill the silence with small talk. When you do reach out, make it count. Say something that makes her think. Ask something that makes her reveal herself. Share something that gives her a window into who you really are, and then disappear again. Let her sit with it. Let her wonder when you'll reach out next. Scarcity creates value, and your words should feel like they matter because they're rare. Challenge. Challenge her worldview gently. Her worldview gently. Women are obsessed with men who expand their minds, who introduce them to new perspectives, who don't just agree with everything they say. When she shares an opinion, engage with it intellectually, not to prove her wrong, but to explore the idea together. This does two things. One, it shows you're not intimidated by her. Two, it makes conversations with you feel different, deeper, more stimulating. And when she's lying in bed at night replaying conversations in her head, yours are the ones that stand out. Master the power of selective vulnerability. Master the power of selective vulnerability. Here's something most men get wrong. They either overshare too soon or never open up at all. The sweet spot. Strategic vulnerability. Share something real, but only after she's earned it. Let her see beneath the surface, but not everything at once. This makes her feel special, like she's accessing a part of you that others don't see. And that feeling of exclusivity, that's addictive. End conversations. End conversations first. First, never be the one trying to keep a dying conversation alive. When the energy dips, you leave. Not rudely, just confidently. I've got to run. But this was fun. Let's continue this later. This does something powerful. It leaves her wanting more, and it positions you as someone with a life outside of her. Someone who's not sitting around waiting for her attention. The mindset behind the words. The mindset behind the words. Here's the deeper truth. The specific words matter less than the energy behind them. You can use every technique I just gave you and still fail if you're doing it from a place of desperation. From a place of trying to trick her into liking you. Women feel energy before they process words. So the real work isn't learning what to say. It's becoming the kind of man who naturally communicates this way. When you're living a life you're proud of, when you're genuinely busy building something meaningful, when you're not putting all your emotional eggs in one woman's basket, that's when these communication patterns become effortless. Because you're not performing them, you're living them. And that's when she becomes obsessed not with your words, but with the man behind them. Final thoughts. Look, I get it. Final thoughts and action steps. When you really like someone, your instinct is to be available, to be agreeable, to show her how much you care. But attraction doesn't work like that. Women become obsessed with men who occupy their thoughts. And you occupy her thoughts by being different, by creating emotional experiences she doesn't get from anyone else, by talking to her in a way that makes her feel excited, challenged, curious, alive, not through manipulation, but through authentic confidence and strategic communication. If this resonated with you, drop a comment with the word obsessed so I know you're ready to level up your communication game. And hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started.